What's up everyone, Lion Roar here, and we've got to cover Cinnamon from the Mighty Pets event in Empires and Puzzles, so of course, I'm going to break him down and give him a grade. But first, download Bloodline Heroes of Lithis, a mobile RPG action fighting game where you can marry your champions to create new and unique hybrids. Use the link in the description to start with some free stuff, including gold and diamonds. And I'd be honored to have you join my server so you can play alongside me. Simply click on your profile, settings, then change your server to S462. See you hopefully soon. Alright, so Cinnamon is a 5-star ice hero of the Paladin class. That is one of the better classes. I think it's actually a little bit underrated, but these become really tough heroes when you give them the emblems for that particular class. Also, of course, there's a Mighty Pet family bonus for having 1, 2, or 3 heroes. And then you get this. Minions for this hero inherit 2, 3, or 4% extra attack. Minions for this hero inherit 2, 3, or 4% health. Fiends for this hero absorb 2, 3, 4, or % less max health. And Fiends for this hero inherit 2, 3, or 4% less attack. And then, of course, there's an event hero bonus too. So the more Mighty Pets you get, the better they are for the event. So there's that. And this is, I'm going to give a little bit of a spoiler alert. This is a particularly good one for events because it hits everybody. We'll get back to that. All right, there's another passive here. Friend of the Familiars. When a minion is summoned to any ally, this character gains 5% health and 5% mana. This effect can activate only once per turn. So that's really interesting. And of course, anytime you are gaining mana faster, that makes any hero better. The more you can fire the specials, the more likely you are to win. One more passive, Wrath of Pets. When a fiend is summoned to any enemy, this character deals 85% damage to all enemies. This effect can activate only once per turn. So in addition to already hitting everybody with the special, which like I said, we're going to get to, you also have this passive, which has the potential to hit everybody. With the max power preview on, it's 948 attack, 998 defense, and 1706 HP. Of course, that's going to depend on what path you take. If we don't have max power preview on, it's 801 attack, 811 defense, and 1472 HP. Frozen Wind is the special at average speed, and I think that's important for this particular hero because if you put a leveled mana troop on him, he can basically go off after 3 matches, which makes him functionally fast. Again, I say this over and over, he's not fast. It doesn't make him fast, but it makes him functionally fast because it reduces the number of matches that you have to make. He deals 250% damage to all enemies. That's a pretty good amount with the attack, especially if you want to put the emblems on him and increase his talents. You can, load up the attack side to make that even more devastating. All enemies receive 496 frost damage over 4 turns. That's okay. That's not the main thing about what he does. The last thing is the main thing, and that is all enemies get negative 54% defense against ice for 4 turns. And that is the best part about this entire hero. Now, we haven't often seen this much other stuff, like this much damage and this much like damage over time, along with this type of elemental defense debuff. And that's a long time, 4 turns. That's pretty good. So if you can make him go off at functionally fast speed with a mana troop and negative 54% defense against ice and this damage over time, this is an incredible hero. But it is not broken or overpowered. But this is exactly what you need in a basic synergy setup where you're decreasing their regular defense, you're decreasing their elemental defense, you're increasing attack, you're increasing, well, there's several ways to increase attack, so stack them on top of each other when they can be stacked. So that's what you're looking for when you're just trying to like take an offensive team that's going to blow up the other team. There are ways to use this on defense too, but I don't think this is mainly a defensive hero. Typically, when you see this elemental defense down, that's more of an offensive hero. So this is, like I said, it's going to be excellent against events when you take them in there and you're trying to do as much AoE as you possibly can, blowing up the entire other team. And especially if you can stack blue. So you go into an event stacking blue, well, all that damage is just going to go up exponentially because of the negative 54% defense against ice. And when you stack the other types of damage synergies, then you're just going to have no problem with the events whatsoever. And that's true of offense in tournaments. You know, whether it's one of the very fast tournaments or wars, or it's a regular one, he's gonna work in both of them. In wars, of course, you need as much of this kind of effect when you're building teams as you can possibly get. So of course he's gonna be great in wars. In raids too. I mean, everywhere. The Titan. You want to do defense down on the Titan, so feel free to take him against the Titan. He's absolutely excellent. If you don't already have an ice elemental defense debuffer, congratulations. If you get Cinnamon, you know, you absolutely would take that against the Titan. So there's so many places to use him. The only area where he's not super useful is on defense, unless you're gonna stack blues, which doesn't usually make sense. But I mean, he even works in tournaments on defense if, for example, the opponent can't bring green, you know? So there is that. But like, yeah, the only place you're probably not going to use him is like war defense or like regular raid defense. If you have to, you'd put him in the left flank, of course. And you'd probably want a couple more blues, or like, you know, what I would do probably if I had to put Cinnamon on defense in a situation like that is put Cinnamon on left flank and then put some other big AoE hero probably in the right wing. That just minimizes the amount of damage green can do if they stack green, because it's going to be hard to hit the left flank and the right wing, so you may get the effect that you want with relatively protected heroes. There's a case to be made that you could put the hero in the right flank too, but if they get rid of the tank, then they easily can just get rid of the blue in the left and right flank. So you know, all that to say, to summarize, he's good everywhere except for defense, where he's only okay, and you'd have to be very specific about what you're doing there. So for that reason, I'm going to give Cinnamon an A, because he is so versatile, and you cannot get enough of this defense down effect. It's one of the best effects in the game, especially negative 54% defense for ice. You know, we've seen that stat before, but it's just always good. So that's why I'm giving him an A, with the only downside being, you know, on war and raid defense, and it's not even that much of a downside. There's so much upside everywhere else that makes up for it. So those are my thoughts. Congrats to everybody who gets Cinnamon. He's an excellent hero. Please let me know in the comments if you get him what your thoughts are. I don't think he's overpowered. I don't think there's any risk of nerfing or banning or anything like that, so feel free to summon for him and enjoy leveling him up. If you enjoy videos like this, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that bell notification, and I will catch you in the next one.